gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, I am completely ecstatic. Why? Because that was a crazy Bills game yesterday. And if you think I'm not riding high from that, never in my life could I actually go through, and only get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, but you wake up still refreshed because it was a damn good game. So we have a great couple guests today, couple good companies that we're covering. So let's just get right into this. And guys, by the way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more firsthand due diligence. It's what we do. So let's get to our first guest. All right. This company was recently featured on our X Spaces Q&A and has put out multiple substantial PRs. Please welcome President Joel Damas of Luminar Media Group Incorporated, ticker LRGR. Let's bring him in. Joel, welcome to the BFC. How you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. And by the way, I want to say thanks for joining us on that BFC Spaces. It was awesome. You guys are absolutely crushing it. And I have a bunch of questions for you, but I just want to say something right here. Guys, when you're trading in the OTC, this is the stuff that you love to see. Look at the yearly is gorgeous. So if you invested in this company a year ago, if you just look at this chart, you're going in the right direction. And I think a lot of it is because it's not bullshit. It's a real company. And you guys are putting your money where your mouth is. You're putting your PRs where they're supposed to be. You're accomplishing things, and you're creating a service for companies that are for people and businesses that it's not being offered. It's really niche, and we're going to talk more about that. So welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. Thank you for showcasing that beautiful chart. And I agree with you. I think a lot of the guys that took the chance on us a year ago are extremely happy, and hopefully we're going to keep making people even more happy along this ride. That's the goal.
Oh, heck yeah. And guys, by the way, this is firsthand due diligence. So if you have a comment, if you have a question, please put it in the chat and I'll pull it up. All right. So let's get this party started. I want to just talk a bit about the growth. All right. The company has reported consistent monthly growth with net income surging over 800%, while expenses grew far slower. What key drivers fueled this momentum, and do you anticipate it continuing into Q4 and beyond?
Well, I'll start by answering what our 4 pillars are that gave us that growth to begin with, and that is, number one, our demand for our products. We continue to see substantial demand for our product. 2, demand our disciplined underwriting process. It is the key to keeping those defaults down. We're very disciplined. We're very targeted. 3rd, our efficient back office. That back office has allowed us to continue that growth without having necessarily to match that growth in the expense category. And that's been really good for our net profit, and you can see that's clearly in our filings. And lastly, the amount of repeat customers. The amount of repeat customers that constantly get our product over and over again has been a huge driver for profitability, and we continue to see it this quarter, and we do not see any type of slowdown for Q4 and beyond.
That's pretty darn impressive. So, what a way to close out the year. Keep moving forward, and you're looking forward to a really, really promising 2026, it sounds like.
That's the goal.
As you grow rapidly, how do you plan to balance expansion with financial resilience, and what role will share structure, partnerships, and capital strategy play in creating long-term shareholder value?
Well, I'll start with the shareholder value related really to that share structure. Number one, when we RTO'd back in late May 2024, we did a few things. Number one, we were able to get all the legacy notes, all that legacy debt that usually becomes toxic, that usually remains with old management that doesn't believe or give a hoot about where that new company is going. We were able to place that in friendly hands. And even though we can't legally, dictate if and when they will convert, let's just say it's with hands that believe in this company and that are here for the long run. In fact, I will highlight that there has been zero, and I mean zero dilution since the moment we took on this company. It doesn't matter what our stock has done. It's gone from 2 cents to a quarter the other day. No one that I know of has converted 1 share. There has been zero dilution. And lastly, I will add that any new notes or any new debt that's being structured, for example, our last round, the maturity date on those notes is 24 months. And the only automatic conversion prior to those 24 months require the company to uplist to a major exchange. So, I mean, even the amount, the type of debt we're putting out is really structured for a bigger play. As far as partnerships, I mean, I'll be as honest as I can. There's no partnerships that I could announce at this moment, or that I could talk about or let out of the bag. But we will say that we're open to new partnerships, and we're constantly talking to everybody. What I will say here is that we won't announce a partnership for headlines. We won't announce a partnership just to get out there or make the stock move. We are looking for real partnerships that really build Fortune into a massive finance brand, which is our goal.
I think your smile says it all. You're enthusiastic and you're passionate, and you're straight up businessman. I love it. I love your ambition, man, and you're ready to crush it. And guys, I looked over the filing. He is absolutely 100% factual when he says not one has converted. And I got to say, I was sort of laughing my ass off a little bit because I'm looking at this filing. And guys, we've seen it in OTC every single time where you see the shares that are being converted and dumping and convert, and just like destroying a stock. And there are all the zeros right down the line. And I just loved seeing that. And so that's quite amazing. And that is very rare when it comes to a stock that's moving like this in the OTC, because a lot of times what happens, well, it goes from 2 cents to 25 cents and everybody decides to dump their shares and just bring it back down. And that has not happened here. And that goes to tell me, and this is just me giving you my opinion, this is not financial advice, but that tells me that the insiders, the people that have invested privately in this company, believe in it because they see the results. So that's what I'm saying, and that's my opinion. So I think that's awesome. That's very rare. So good job, man.
Thank you.
So how much of your, and by the way, guys, I see some great questions in the chat. Keep adding them there. We're going to get to those in a second, but I do want to ask about your recent revenue. How much of your recent revenue acceleration comes from repeat versus new clients? And should investors expect this pace to continue or normalize in upcoming quarters?
Well, Q2, speaking specifically about our last filing, out of 3.2 million funded, roughly, and again, I don't have the numbers exactly in front of me, but roughly about 1.9 million of that came from repeat customers. So that brings our customer acquisition way down, but it doesn't stop us from bringing in new business. In fact, we have a consistent flow. We have the ability to consistently attract new clients. So we see a fresh growth, but with that fresh growth, we continually see these repeat customers, again, to the tune of 59% last quarter. So we can't promise, as far as your question about is this sustainable, we can't promise a certain amount of growth going forward, but we believe that this blend of retention and constant client acquisition, like we do every single quarter, will only keep us at a nice, fresh pace going forward.
Excellent. And yeah, I'm having a little bit of connectivity issues here, actually, guys. So if any of my guests ever, if you ever see me disappear, don't worry about it. I'll be right back. So thank you for keeping it going there. Appreciate it. So with assets subject to default risk, how are you managing credit quality while scaling? And when will AI and machine learning start to materially improve your underwriting and portfolio performance?
Well, our underwriting is really a very disciplined area, and it's highly structured. Our collection area is as well. The AI, as far as AI tools, because I get asked that a lot, those tools are in place right now. And in fact, we would say that a lot of the third-party services that we use in that collection process has really enhanced and continually enhances not only our ability to identify fraud, give us early warning signs on things that are at risk, but will continue to shape our portfolio and keep our default levels at our current rate, which we believe for our space is very healthy.
Excellent. What makes Fortune stand out in the revenue-based financing space? And do you see opportunities to expand beyond your 38-state footprint into international markets?
Well, our space in general is very fragmented, and what makes this really different, I would say, is the biggest factor is our space is full of brokers, syndicates that usually are the funders. Here we control the whole vertical, and I'm talking about A through Z. So not only does that give us efficiency, consistency, accountability, but it lets us, for example, finance the gig economy, finance $5,000 deals. Most of these brokers won't touch it because the commission is not worth it, and most of these syndicates won't touch it because there's usually a syndicator platform that's making fees, and it's just not worth it to them. We are in a league of our own, just making our way, and it shows not only in our revenue what we're putting together, but in our net. We are able to profitably put these deals together where other people cannot.
Yeah, and I know we discussed this a little bit on the spaces. There's the discrepancy, a high percentage of your clients are minority owned businesses. Why do you think that? I mean, you guys are obviously providing an awesome service to them. Why do you think that is that they're the ones that often need this financing? Is it because of the amount that they need? Basically, what you were just talking about?
Well, I would say we are financing the not only the unbankable but the unfundable. So
Hmm.
the banks don't want them, and then these funding companies that again are ran by either brokers or syndicators, they only want $100,000 deals. They're able to come to us. Not only are we able to finance the contractor, but we're able to finance the subcontractor. And that makes us completely different. And again, controlling this vertical, controlling every single expense in this vertical goes a very long way just as in the model. As far as your question about expanding, we're up to 41 funded in 41 states as of right now. As far as internationally, when the right regulatory and strategic conditions are there, we could possibly look at it. But what I will tell you is that Fortune will eventually venture outside of revenue-based financing, and we could probably target verticals like insurance, health, home, auto, mortgages. I mean, there is growth for a company like Fortune in all these verticals, and God willing, that's where we're going.
Excellent. That's great. Great answer. Detailed. Love it. LRGR has the fundamentals to grow into a NASDAQ caliber company. What is the path forward to uplist?
Well, as we know, the uplist process is a very deliberate process. And it comes down to three things. One, we got to continue delivering strong quarterlies, and that we will continue to do, or at least continue to do it at the best of our ability. Again, I don't want to promise anything. Second, put the right governance in order. And with that, meaning put in the right independent directors into our board and just set us up for what NASDAQ and NYSE expects. And third would be completing our audit. And I will let the cat a little bit out of the bag here, right?
I
We
like
have
this.
been, I will confirm that we have been interviewing and we've received formal proposals from various auditing firms. And what I will say on this call is expect an announcement in the next week or so in that very crucial step. And I will
Wow.
add just one more thing to that, and that is I want to be clear. We don't just want to go to a major exchange. We want to be able to, we want to be able, we want to be positioned to succeed in
Mm.
that major exchange. And that is important to us.
You see it all the time where, they split to get up there, they maintain their share price, and then they're on a big board and then it gets shorted down. They don't have the revenue to back it up. And you see it all the time. I mean, on the NASDAQ, people think it's just the OTC that's filled with the stress of company failure and stock price failure. It happens all the time in the small cap. So I think going in from a position of strength, like you're talking about, is really, really smart, and it's wise, and it's not petty. Now, listen, we have about 5 to 10 minutes left, and I listen. We have a lot of questions. Wayward's pretty excited in the chat. So what I'm going to do, Wayward, we have small cap connoisseur. I'm just going to throw these questions up, and let's rapid fire these bad boys. What do you say?
All right, we'll try.
All right. They come down in the chat, Wayward. My goodness, and I'm his king. Wayward's a good friend. That growth is impressive. What does it look like day to day inside the company?
Chaotic and crazy. No, we have an amazing team that we are blessed to have. Um,
Mm.
Guys that and gals that have been in the industry and in the space for many years. Some of them are coming in with 15 years, 14 years, 12 years of experience. Every process is pretty much micromanaged from the origination part to the document gathering part. The underwriting process is very meticulous. Every single deal that gets an offer doesn't go through AI yet. We still have it set up that it goes through a human that looks at those charts, looks at the AI, looks at the recommendation the machine gave, and actually gives an offer. And then even the process of verification, KYC, AML, just going through that whole file. I want to say 20% of our files don't even pass QC. When it gets there, we're talking about a fully signed deal. We go ahead and kill that thing because it makes no sense for our bottom line.
Right on. Small cap connoisseur. With the increase in net income and apparent undervaluedness of shares, why doesn't the company initiate a share buyback program with cash on hand?
We rather use that. So I think we spoke at the X interview, and we spoke about what would possibly hold us back. And it goes to answer this question. The only thing I could see holding us back right now would be not having enough capital to fund the amount of business that we have ready to go. If we were to take our cash right now and put it into a share buyback program, sure, we might be able to increase the share price a little bit, but at the expense of hurting our funding capability. And at this point, I understand shareholders might want that, but it makes no sense for the company in general. Right now, we are focused, and that's why we're lean, we're mean, we're net, we're profitable, because every dollar goes into funding deals. Funding deals drive revenue and profitability.
Yeah, and it makes more sense. Like, the whole point of going public is to utilize public funds to fund the business, to grow a business, and the business is growing. And I say keep the business growing. Right now, and to piggyback on what you said, I'm looking at it. You got a $9 million market cap. Your outstanding share count's 52 million, with only 14 million unrestricted. These are already NASDAQ. This is a NASDAQ share structure at this point. So I think the talk of a buyback, I know this is me just giving my opinion, is moot, because it doesn't matter. I mean, you're already in a position to be a NASDAQ company with the share structure that you got. That's just it. So there's no sense in wasting money on a buyback for the quick satisfaction. And what's that going to last for? You know, it's not meaningful to do that, in my opinion.
That's exactly our position at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a couple more questions at you. And we're gonna have one more from Small Cap Connoisseur. Additionally, why aren't insiders buying stock on the open market? Have not seen a single supplemental information filed for insider purchases.
Well, again, I cannot speak for other insiders. Definitely speaking for myself, I know I have not bought. I control a lot of the outstanding shares out there as we speak, and I think I'm in a very healthy position. I think more important than looking into why no one is buying in the open market, I think you should be looking at why no one is converting all this debt that's out there that's owned by insiders, and why when this stock goes on runs, there's really no pressure on the sell side is more important than necessarily that question.
Right on. Excellent. Thank you for answering those, guys. Very good. Lots of great questions coming in. How stressful was growing that fast, although very exciting? How do you keep things from getting overwhelming while still going forward?
Well, they get overwhelming sometimes. I mean, that's part of making the decision to do this. But we are steadfast, and we want to be a NASDAQ company, an NYSE company. We believe that we outgrew, like we figured we would, the OTC really quick, and our goal is to ring that bell. And I think this whole team, not only myself but everyone with me and behind me, is that's their goal, and we're gonna keep trucking to hopefully we get that done.
Excellent. Oh, Super Robot, how you doing? Thanks for joining us tonight. In regards to customer acquisition, how often are clients approaching you versus you approaching them? That's a good question. With a focus on the Latino community, do you get a lot of word of mouth referrals?
So I again, I want to be, I am as honest as I possibly could. I try not to word my answers around just making people, happy with what they are. Like, first of all, I will tell you that on this call, I'm not ready to answer that, but I could possibly have that number. And I will probably, we have systems in place that would be able to give us most likely that metric down to a T. For in the future, I'll be able to answer that. However, I will say now, and I think it's important too, every single funding you are seeing is either an inbound call or an outbound call related to some type of small business lead metrics. We are doing zero marketing at this point. In fact, one of the things that we will be implementing or putting together very soon is marketing campaign, whether it be traditional media, radio, TV, Latino-based, and digital, which would most likely, again, drive further funding, but we need additional capital to do that. So at this point, I can't really answer how much of that is need-based coming back. I will revert, though, to the answer of the 59%. 60% of our business last quarter came from people that already took our money, and I think that has a lot to answer for the question that he's asking.
Right on. Thank you for answering that. And we have one more question I'm going to throw up here. People hear a lot about AI these days. How is it actually helping your company right now? Can you give an example? I know you talked a little bit about it earlier, but if you could refresh for Kimberly.
Well, what happens is we finance a lot of different merchants, right? So you got everything from restaurants to trucking. So going to restaurants, for example, now we're able to input that data into some type of machine learning, some type of AI system. And again, most of this is third party at this point. But what it'll do is it will actually grind down that data where it will be able to look at our previous fundings, let's say for an Italian restaurant in Miami, Florida, versus an Italian restaurant up north in the month of January. And I think the more of this data that we keep feeding this machine learning and this AI, the more we're going to be able to gather from that. And the AI is going to be able to spit out and say, hey, there's a different risk in Miami in the summer than there is in November. And I think more and more that AI is going to keep spitting that out for us. And it's just going to make us a leaner company with while minimizing that risk.
There are so many variables to what you do, man. Seriously. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to give you the final say here, your final words. And by the way, this was your first time on the BFC. I really hope you come back and give us an update. This has been awesome. And, please keep us informed, man. You guys are really good at communicating. So last words for the show to investors or potential investors.
Well, I just want to thank you again for having us. And of course, we'd love to come back whenever you would have us. And as far as everyone that's tuned in and potential investors, I just want you to know that this is a real company with real results, with real numbers, with a hardworking team right behind it that's not looking to make a OTC lick. We are looking for something bigger. And again, God willing, that's what we're going to provide, not only for ourselves, but for every investor that believes in this company.
That is amazing. Joel Damas, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now get out of here. Get out of here.
Thank you.
Well, it's a breath of fresh air. I'm telling you, it's one of those rare OTCs that man, they have a lot going on for them. Crazy cool. All right, next up to talk about their latest press release is CEO Jimmy Chan and President Reed Floco of NightFood Holdings, ticker NGTF. Let's get into it, guys. How we doing today?
Good, very good.
Excellent. Great to have you guys here. Now, tell us a little bit about yourselves, guys. Jimmy, you could go first. How you been? Oh, he's muted. You got to unmute yourself.
There you go.
There you are.
Yeah. Been good. Struggling for the past couple of years, of course. Everybody else, I'm assuming, everybody else are as well, because the market has not been easy at all on the capital market side. A lot of IPO bottleneck, and This year's been, we see a little bit of upside, we see some volume, but overall, it's much better than the last 3 years. But
yes,
right now we're excited because starting to see some actions this year. So this is why we're also positioning NightFood to start launching and get going as well. The opportunity we see is going to be now and coming soon this year.
Yeah, the financial aspect of it, the last 2 years have been tough, very tough, especially in getting funding and stuff. But now it seems like we are turning the corner, and so it's nice to see. And they say that, hey, if you survived the last couple of years and you're still here, then it's going to be pretty good for you. Now, you guys just had a PR. I have a bunch of questions for you guys. By the way, if you have any questions, please be sure to put them in the chat. All right. So I want to talk about your strategic vision and acquisitions. I want to talk about the recent hotel acquisition, and congratulations on closing the $31 million Holiday Inn acquisition. How do you see this deal shaping the future of NightFood's AI hospitality platform, and what's the timeline for the second property?
Ree, you want to take this or I'll take this?
Go ahead and take this one.
Okay. So we closed this first deal August 27. There's 2 properties we're working simultaneously to build basically the balance sheet. We and also as a facility for Ree to test and launch his robot and prove the concept. So first one closed August 27 or 28, and then we have a second one coming soon as well. We timed these 2 acquisitions mainly. We announced the LOI about 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, got the audit going. The key thing is the audit timeline. So the reason why we're now closing on one is because we gone through substantial amount of the audit process. So we are comfortable to close it because with the closing date, you technically, with a significant transaction, you have about 75 days or so to file the AK. So communicating with the audit team, they are very comfortable on wrapping this up within the next few weeks. So therefore, we closed the first one, with the next one anticipated to close within the next few weeks or so. Hopefully, our goal is to have it both recorded on the September quarter.
Wow.
So yeah, so
that's quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's with the team been working, putting extra effort on closing this because it's critical. Having both of the assets show up on the September 30th queue, which will be filed. Ideally, we could get this out by November 15th. This will give us, the company balance sheet a brand new look. Our market cap right now is what, $2.something million, but post closing of these 2 assets, we should add at least around 50 or 60 million, depending on the closing date on the second one and the accounting treatment. You will see roughly about $50 to $60 million of shareholders' equity positive. Wow. So it'll be a huge turnaround.
That's great. What's the biggest challenge in integrating robotics and AI into a fully operational hotel? I mean, that's a big undertaking. How are you addressing staff adoption alongside this automation process?
Sure, I'm happy to take that. So, I'm fortunate to have 30 plus years of experience in the hotel business. So very much hands-on. I mean, I started as a housekeeper and front desk agent all the way running up to general managing, district manager, area manager, and, and ultimately.
So you've seen all sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, overseeing billions of dollars in real estate as a director before breaking away and 15, 16, 17 years ago to kind of do our own thing here. But we focus on the tech side and getting robots that actually can solve real problems. So having the background I have, it's fairly straightforward for me to identify, okay, as a housekeeper, what was it like to move dirty linen every day and take out trash every day? I'm a 200-pound guy. It's easier for me than the 120-pound lady that might be doing it. So we were, bringing the robots and working on the robots for the last 2.5 years. It's really been about how do we provide a support service to those team members and make their lives better and give them an opportunity to, be more effective at the tasks that they have in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, robotics as a service. Can you walk us through the specific benefits of your robotics as a service model for hotel operators versus traditional staffing approaches?
Sure. I mean, we're a plug and play robotic service, basically. So you don't have to have your team or yourself learn anything about robotics. We take it over. We basically provide the service to our customers. So when it comes to programming or modeling or training, initial training, we're there to do all that work. So these properties do not have to take on any large investments, and it really is up to us to deliver. And the nice thing as a robot service provider, we start generating income immediately. So we don't ask our customers to outlay a bunch of capital to start the business or start the robotics piece, and so it falls on us. But then we also get to collect revenues immediately.
How's the overall reception like with staff, and how do you think people feel about this? I know that like with AI and robotics, they're saying like in 50 years, like a lot of hands-on jobs that people have are just going to be completely eliminated. But overall, in the hospitality and hotel management side of things, how do you see it as more of an assistance than a takeover, like you were just explaining?
Yeah, I mean, there's always, there is going to be one or two, depending on the size of property, there's going to be one or two positions that are eliminated, let's just say. But really, it's to provide the rest of the team support, so they're not, being worn out, they're not getting hurt. Quite frankly, the only reason we as humans move trash and dirty linens and all those gross items is because there was no other option. And so we've created an option that basically says, listen, you could be more effective in cleaning. You could be more effective FaceTiming with your customers, generating revenue, doing other things than moving, the dirtiest, nastiest things out there.
So true. I mean, if people have the option not to do that, they're going to take that option every single time, guaranteed.
Yeah. And, if you look at the team members, our teams early on, they're because we've been doing this for, over 2 years now. So we've been field testing for over 2 years. We code all of our robots. We maintenance our robots. These are things that are very personal to us. So the team members initially look at it and go, there's this kind of excitement about it. But we have purposely at times, and there's great buy-off on it, but there's been at times where we sit there and go in test mode. Let's say a year ago, we're testing, trying to change some sensors or coding out. We may take the robot offline for a day or 6 hours or whatever it ends up being, and people sit there and go, "Give me my robot back." And so what was maybe had a little intimidation early on ends up being something that is very much embraced. And quite frankly, nobody wants to do that type of work now that we have the robots in place.
And I'm back. I got booted again, guys.
That's right.
Right. You know what? I always have some kind of internet issue. If it's not a storm knocking power out, it's something else. But I want to keep things going here, guys. If you want to put any questions in the chat, please do so. I want to talk a little bit about the pilot program, right? The thing that you have going down there in Victorville, the site. Let's talk about your first smart hotel blueprint. What early data and feedback are you seeing from the laundry helper robot, and what's next in terms of automation and deployment?
Yeah, so we have actually seen, well, let's preface this. Our robots, when we code them here in the United States. They're on our servers. They don't go overseas. So all the databases sit with us here in the United States. We have more types of sensors on our robots than my wife does on a Tesla car. We have, the ability to put servers in, let's say, a hospital or some type of high security agency's office where the server stays on site. So then that allows the AI features of the robots as well as the security features of the robots to be retained within that security apparatus. So those are all really cool features, but we coded that. We're the ones that create that. So with that in place, we have the ability to kind of reach out past the hotel environment. We absolutely are focused on hotels. It's quite easy to install into a hotel. And keep in mind, our robots summon elevators. They open back of house doors. They are designed and built to limit human interaction. The goal is to get them to actually be a support service, not a chore, and not for somebody to have to manage. Again, we're not looking for our clients to manage robots. We're here to do that.
The robot's broke again. I mean, like, you just see, like, you don't have to be a servicer in addition to doing your other tasks as well. And that's important.
And what's cool about that is, if I have a robot that has trouble picking up a bin, let's say, my team will know long before the customer ever knows. We get notified immediately. Our robots can basically send out a signal to us so we can actually rectify it in real time. So it's a very proactive approach. We do not wait for a phone call. If we get a phone call, we failed. So we're very active in management and enhancing them. So it's really our passion to truly deliver on what we're putting out.
Right on. And by the way, guys, if I do lose signal, I don't know, I'm having weird internet issues today, but if I do lose, you guys just keep going. You guys are still live. SEC audit and uplist. I want to talk about this. This is something that people have been asking about. You've tied these acquisitions to the SEC audit milestones. How far along are you in the audit process, and what does uplisting mean for NightFood's growth strategy?
Yeah, so I'll take that question. Audit, we are a reporting company, so we are current with our Q's and K. In terms of audit, we're strictly referring to the 2 target acquisition, which is the hotel I just went over earlier. The reason why we're comfortable on closing the first one is because we're very close on wrapping the 2 years audit financial up. So we could definitely file the AK in a very short time frame. Second one is going to follow within a few weeks. So if we could get these 2 assets reflected on our 10Q, September 30th 10Q, which will be due November 15th, if we could get that file by then or earlier, we'll have the balance sheet, which will meet listing requirement. You're going to have $50-60 million of shareholders' equity. But, I don't have concrete timeline yet. Don't want to jump the gun here and get the exchange offended. And make, empty promises. So,
no, right on.
But it's definitely is within our target, and this is something that we want to do as soon as possible.
Yeah, and it seems like you're moving fairly quick on that.
Trying to.
I mean, and coming off a grumpy 2 years in the OTC, I guess we could say, that this is a positive thing. So you got to seize the moment. You got to take advantage of it as these cycles go through. You got to take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Right on. I want to talk a little bit more about the market and industry position, your competitive advantage. Many companies talk about AI and hospitality, but few execute. All right. We've heard talk about this before, but you guys are actually doing this. You're taking this head on. What makes NightFood's vertically integrated model stand out in a crowded space?
I think our experience, our track record, my team, myself, we have, over 130 hotels we managed. We have, built hotels from ground up, over 50 of them. So we have a diverse background in the hospitality side of it. But that reaches out to convention centers and other ancillary services of the hospitality industry. Our direct leadership has hands-on direct experience in software and hardware. We leverage that within our robots' abilities. The core competency in the hotel convention, arenas, and other business operations obviously help us as well. And our backgrounds, we streamline the fact that everything is done here in the United States with our team. We can streamline our R&D expenses. We can focus on delivering. Having ownership in hotels, we now have the ability to continue to enhance because we do have additional products to launch in the future. But we have the ability to quickly adapt them, quickly focus them, and be able to then take them and scale them into the market. Another big item, the robots as a service. Totally different model. We're not asking for a customer to come in and pony up $30,000 for a robot that they don't even know how to manage. And then, a year from now, nobody's there to manage it. So we can, implement them, very low startup costs. We can get a customer savings immediately with that. And then we have the ability, to continue to do upgrades and enhancements, without an impact to the customer.
And I'm just thinking too, like, because we were talking about real estate, which is really interesting, because you have the products, the robots. If you were to sell that piece of real estate, there's a huge chance that the overseers of that property, the new people that taking over the property, are going to want to retain those robotics and utilize those, and you guys would be the service provider for that too. So that is always having a hand and revenue coming in, I would think, correct?
Correct. If you look at it, if you look from a real estate side and a cap rate, if I could save your building $100,000 in operational expenses that goes to the bottom line and apply a 10 cap, your valuation of your building just went up by $1 million. So, and that's really what's at hand. So the robots do that. So it's going to be probably, early adopters will see that benefit. It will, fast forward 3, 4, 5 years from now, when we hope to have robots everywhere, that will stabilize. But I think early adopters who can actually bring a more profitable bottom line will benefit.
Awesome. I have one more question about future expansion. Then we have a question from John Don. I'll get right to you, John Don. Beyond hospitality, your vision includes other industries needing automation for heavy duty, repetitive, dirty, and injury-prone tasks. Which verticals are on your radar next? Give us something juicy. Come on.
The fun stuff. Well, I get the fun stuff. So, I
got to try and pry just a little bit, right?
Yeah. We're eyeballing and working with arenas and ballparks. So, instead of having to bring on, 20 staff members prior to a game start that has to go out and fill all the concessions, we can have the robots actually fill the concessions long before anybody shows up. So you remember, the robots can go up an elevator. The robots can go to and open a door, a back of house door. They have cameras. They have security features, so they can be tracking and understanding what's going on. But this expands to convention centers. Similar situation. If you're in the hotel business or convention business, you have 4 people managing, let's say, a large convention. There's a breakout. You have to turn the room with dirty linens and trash. And so you bring 20, 25 people in to turn a room. Well, you'll no longer have to do that. You can have your robots fill your bins and let the robots turn the room. So it changes the entire business model. But you can go shopping centers, theme parks, hospitals, schools, universities, office buildings. Think about wherever you think of the hardest, and dirtiest jobs, trash, dirty linens.
After today, you're going to start noticing how many trash cans there are in an establishment. As you walk through convention center, a mall, your school, colleges, hotels.
It's true.
So the other question is, like, name one establishment with a big real estate coverage that doesn't have trash. So
I get text messages. I get text messages all the times where someone will send me a text message. They were at the mall this weekend, or they were at the hospital. They just had a baby. They go to the hospital, and they're sending me pictures of overflowing trash cans. And they're like, "Go call this customer. We need to send out somebody to this customer," because it's common. Again, it is a hard, dirty job, and the beauty is we could do it, and we could save you money, and we can make it a better experience. I mean, everyone wins here.
No, right on. And it's the truth. And I'm going to use a garbage truck as an example. Now they have the bins, the truck pulls up, the clamp things, they come in, they pull, they dump it. I mean, look how robotics have helped probably the bodies of men working across the, throwing their back outs all the time at the job. And they're doing that far less now because of robotics, and it's helping improve a service. And so it's not going to go anywhere. And I think it's going to be make things more efficient. There are some concerns that people have. I do want to bring up a point. Jacob Orfeo has a question. How do you respond to criticism surrounding hospitality technology that isn't owned by the operators? A great example is McDonald's milkshake machines, which are far less complex than robots. That's an interesting question.
Well, I think what's interesting is that as an operator of hundreds of hotels, I don't want to hire and have my own robot manager. That's not the world I want to live in. With the RAS model, if I don't produce, cancel the lease or cancel the payment. Let hold my feet to the fire. The reality of it is that we have the ability to have a team that can go out and address the issues. And with this type of business model, if we don't, you're not trapped, but we will make it happen.
Excellent. And I do have another question from John Don. John Don, a longtime supporter and participant in the BFC community. How many robots have you got working in the field already?
So we have kind of kept it under wraps for up until 2 weeks ago. So we have 3 in the field right now. We have another 8 ready to deploy. And then we're working on some we're working on some bigger things. So I probably want to leave it at that. But
yeah,
we are,
we're not looking at our material, non-public information. So contracts are being negotiated right now. Some are very substantial. So don't want to say anything that's not publicly published out there yet. It's not on our AK or press release. So,
good question, John Don. See what's happening.
But we are we got those robots out there. They're on trial. So one of our business model is we give free trial up to 30 days. So if you don't see value, you could go ahead and terminate with no cost. That's one of our secret sauce. But we'll keep you guys posted.
It's funny. There's always one that likes to pry. If it's not me, it's John Don. He tends to do that sometimes. But I want to thank all the people that put up questions. And this was a great Q&A. Any closing remarks for shareholders or potential shareholders as you embark on this journey of expansion?
For me,
yeah. Go ahead, Reed.
Well, we're not looking to be flashy or cute or kind of the useless robots you see out there. Our goal is to be known as the worker bots, the bots that actually deliver. And if you have a routine, difficult task that your team handles, we're looking to make it safer, easier, more focused, and really benefit the team members.
Excellent. Jimmy Chen, any final thoughts?
Keep an eye out for our story. Definitely a lot happening. So there's a lot brewing. So
right on.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. One of my favorite phrases in the OTC. Gentlemen, Jimmy, Reed, it was great having you guys. I hope to have you guys on soon for an update, and good luck to you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now get out of here. That was good. That was great. 2 strong companies. What a way to have a what do you call it? Double feature on Monday. People are getting ready for Monday Night Football, and we have some great. I'll see now. Unboxing Bastard, you asked that too late because now they're gone. Son of a gun. I should have asked the patent question. I really should have asked that. That's crazy. Yeah. Hey, Jazz. Shut up. You're going to razz me. Yeah. You're not coming for me. You better watch it. I'm going to prank you guys. I'm getting razzed. And yeah, good stuff. Hey. You never know. Ain't that something? Well, listen, great Q&A. Like I got to say, those companies were awesome. LRGR, NightFood's NGTF. Make sure you guys check them out. Do your due diligence. Read their filings. I do want to talk about one more thing while I'm live here. This is one stock that's sort of been vocal lately, and I want to talk a little bit about ICTY. Well, look at that. That's exciting. We had a little bit of a bump, hundreds of millions in volume over a couple days. And so ICTY, this is one that we've been talking about for a long time. And I'm excited to have a position in it. I got in it our trip twos. So it's a trip play. I think this one's going to be huge. And they recently put out a tweet, and it's iCity.com. We are entering an exciting new phase focused on building long-term shareholder value by leveraging our recent acquisitions in the artificial intelligence sector. We are strategically expanding our asset base and creating new avenues for revenue growth. The opportunities to enhance our AI portfolio are substantial. And we are confident in our ability to capitalize on them. We look forward to sharing further developments through upcoming news releases. Juicy. All right. I love it. That's awesome. ICTY, keep them on your radar. We've been talking about this one for a while. I actually had the CEO, Bradley Wilson. He was on. The company presented at the BFC VC1, and he came on for a Q&A. So I'm going to get his ass back on the hot seat. That's what's going to happen. So Bradley, if you're listening, let's set it up and let's do a Q&A so that way all the traders can ask questions. I know I have a lot of questions for you, so you better bring it. Don't be teasing us, Mr. Wilson. Damn it. Don't be teasing us. Listen, this was a great night. Great to hang out with you guys. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've done a live. I plan on doing more of these, and we are going to be doing a stock update very, very soon. Lots of stocks to cover, lots of movement in the OTC, lots of excitement. That's all I got. Go Bills. I mean, you guys have a wonderful week. We're going to check back in later this week. We might do a Spaces this Thursday. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That's all I got. Remember, there's more that binds us than breaks us. You guys have a wonderful evening. Peace out.